Good morning, precious people. God is so good. Isn't He so good? I hope you're feeling so blessed today. It is another fresh day. It's a new gift. We're here to learn and grow and become better people. What a blessing. I'm just so thankful for your irreplaceable light and the wisdom and experience that only you bring into the world. Like I said, today's a gift. Let's open it with kindness and curiosity, and remember, we're all still growing and learning. So give yourself a little break. Cut yourself some slack. We all make mistakes. I have to tell myself that every day. Honestly, it's you can get down in the dumps and beat yourself up, or just accept you're a human and you can make mistakes and move on. Try to do better next time. So grab your nearest drink and let's check in together. I have my coffee today. What do you put in your coffee? Anything special? Some people put like cinnamon and stuff in it, make it really a treat. And I think cinnamon does something to your body too that excites your metabolism or something. So, always got to drink some water too. Make sure you drink your water before you even start your coffee in the morning. It's really good for your body just to rehydrate. I think I did one of my episodes about that. Drink 16 ounces of water, not all at once. You should, drink it in two separate little sittings, and then wait about 90 minutes after you wake up to start drinking your coffee, so your natural wake-up hormones have a chance to activate and do what they're meant to do. Anyway, so let's get into the episode, but before we do, let's take our breath. Scan your body. I need this. I did a pre-breath before the episode, and I was like, whoa, what is that? So I'm going to do another one, see if I can figure it out this time. Okay, let's breathe in really deep. Man, I feel something stuck. Like, you can call it what you want. Some people call it stuck energy. I just feel something like sitting in there. I woke up this morning, had to clean up a mess the cats made, fix their cat box. We have an automatic cat box, so I got all that. I put part of it outside because I need to spray it down, and then I was cleaning in the kitchen, and I had all this stuff, and I'm like, I gotta get to my episode. I have to get to this so I can ground myself, because I just got busy this morning. I think that's probably what I was feeling, like this, like, eat, because I'm like, go, 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 from the time my feet hit the floor this morning. So now I can sit down and relax and just feel my body, feel how I am, sip my coffee. So good, so delicious. Next week, I will start a joy series, and my first one is going to be the joy of coffee. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, today's the third episode of this series of me trying to figure out and process all the stuff that just happened to me the last couple of weeks, and all the social situations and difficulties I faced. So I'm going to finish that up today, and I hope I'm going to stick to the script that I wrote and try to make it all the way to my resources today, because they're really cool at the end of the episode. So, how do you maintain a pristine headspace, look out for your own health, and remain genuinely pleasant while there is nowhere to hide? It's one thing to have an inconsiderate stranger interaction in the hallway, but it's completely different when that person is sleeping like 3 feet away from you. And when your roommates check out mentally, they refuse to compromise on basic things like the lighting, and then they bring the physical reality of illness and complaints into your immediate space. The walls can feel like they're closing in. Honestly, we had no windows in our room. It was a doorway and 6 beds in that room. 6? Yeah. And then one of the beds was empty. I want to break down the clinical psychology of institutional confinement. That's what this was. Just like dorms, I guess, could be associated with that. But this was institutional confinement. This was like prison. A prison I chose of my own making. So I want to go over the exact communication and mental frameworks needed to preserve your health and your kindness when your privacy is at 0. So, we want to remain unshakable in chaotic spaces. We're looking at the deepest layer of this challenge, the shared bedroom. If you've ever participated in a long-term clinical study, a medical quarantine, I haven't, or an intense group environment like like what I was talking about yesterday, the missions trip I went on, you know your room ceases to be a sanctuary. It becomes a microscopic ecosystem. It's like you're with these complete strangers you've never met before. It is a petri dish of, like, you're looking in there like, how do 5 different personalities get along together in one room for 24 hours a day? It's 2 straight weeks. When your roommates are suffering from side effects of a trial drug, people respond differently. Some of the people in my room withdrew completely. They wrapped themselves in blankets, refused to leave their beds, demanded the lights stay off day and night, effectively forcing their coping techniques onto everyone else in the room. So add that to the unavoidable social discomforts of being in a crowded room, things like the sounds, the smells, the complaining, and your nervous system can go into this like alert stage. As we have established already, the sovereign mind doesn't have to outsource its characteristics to roommates. You don't have to match that same level of complaint and withdrawal. I want to figure out how to protect my peace when my body and my environment are like completely out of my control. So, psychology behind it. There's 2 things. Psychological reactance and sensory adaptation. So I'll get into both of those. Sorry, I have an itchy nose. When human beings are confined to small spaces and stripped of their autonomy, 2 distinct biological and psychological shifts happen. First, there is psychological reactance. So it's an intense emotional response that occurs when someone feels their freedom or control is being threatened. So this happens to everyone, whether you know it or not. It's just a psychological human characteristic that we all have. So when my roommate snaps at the nurse or aggressively insists that the lights stay off, it's often a desperate attempt to reclaim the tiny piece of control that they have over their body or over their environment. They feel sick, and even though we chose to be in this environment, we didn't choose to feel this bad. You know, we saw the list of possible side effects. I tell you what, when you're like, oh, headache, nausea, okay, I can deal with that. Holy cannoli, when you're laying on the floor of the bathroom and sweating and wishing that you could leave, that's not in the list of side effects. So the second part of this psychological reasoning is, or physical, the sensory part of this. So, your own nervous system undergoes sensory overload. In close quarters, your olfactory and your auditory senses are bombarded by other people's biological realities. Things like sickness, the sounds, the coughing, the retching, the gagging, the flatulence. It was really cute. One of my roommates, she would, fart, and then she would be like, "Oh, excuse me," and she'd just kind of make it funny. We'd all giggle a little, but it's like you're in a room with 4 other people. Stuff's gonna happen, and so your brain can interpret these things as stressors. So to combat that, you learn into this intentional, or you have to learn to be intentional with this sensory adaptation and cognitive reframing. So I already talked about the reframing yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. So you recognize that your irritation isn't actually caused by your roommates. It's caused by your brain's evolutionary warning system. It's trying to protect, your territory, your sovereignty, yourself. And once you understand biology, you can kind of override that alarm. So the tools I used, it was so funny because after a few days into the study, I was coloring to kind of keep myself occupied and busy. I didn't go to the social recreation spaces the first couple of days. I stuck to the lobby and the dining room, the places I was most familiar with from day one. And then the more I branched out, the more things that were happening, and I needed these tools. So I started Googling, what can I do? How can I handle this? So navigating this level of intimate friction requires a balance of personal shields and this calm, unyielding courtesy. I really leaned into being extra nice to people. So when a roommate attempted to dictate the room's environment, keep the lights off, I didn't argue. I didn't match their frustration or irritation. I used this collaborative approach where when I needed the lights, I needed to get my stuff together to go take a shower or whatever, I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to turn the lights on for a minute. Are you sleeping? Are you okay?" And they're like, no, do what you need to do. So thankfully, our room has a dimmer, so I could dim the lights up a bit, get what I needed to get. And I said, "Hey, do you want the lights back on, or you want me to turn them off?" And when I leave the room, I'm like, "You want the door closed? You want me to leave this open? Are you guys okay?" So it just takes this collaborative approach. That's, and when I was in this situation, how do I deal with someone who wants the lights off and I need to see for some reason? So then this other thing was called a clinical reframe. When dealing with unpleasant physical habits or smells of other people in a facility like this, you can train your mind to look at the room through the eyes of a clinician. A doctor or nurse doesn't get personally offended by the patient's biological functions, and they view it as just the human condition. And then, so if I can look at the room from a clinical perspective, what we're all going through are bodily functions that are out of our controls. I can't be mad at someone for, their flatulence or their retching or whatever, So it's just the reality. It's just, yep, we're in a clinical situation. That's how this is going to be. Also, I can recognize this is an exodus, a micro exodus, take a little break from this situation. I'm going to recognize, and I did, when my nervous system needed a little reset. Even though I can't leave the facility, I can change where I'm sitting. So I would grab what I need take it out to the dining room, color on my coloring book, do the little diamond dot project I was working on, read a book. There's a little quiet room, there's a game room, there's a big media room. So I could go from place to place, and I actually just followed wherever the sun was shining in a window. In the front lobby, sometimes the sun would be in there, so I'd sit in there and read a book. I could go, talk to the nurse, go fill up my water bottle, take a little mini exodus, just a little break from that situation, relocate yourself. So that was nice having these tools. What does the Bible say? Remaining pleasant and courteous in a dark room full of complaints is the ultimate realization of Matthew 5:14 through 16. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hid. So let your light shine before others so they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So it's easy to turn your own light off when your roommates are demanding darkness, but your kindness is its own power source. You can turn that light on inside through your kindness. And then in Galatians, you've heard this one before, it reminds us of this fruit of the Spirit. It's kindness, patience, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. None of those fruits of the Spirit are dependent on other people's actions. Them being kind, smelling nice, giving you privacy. True self-control is the ability to walk into a room where there's chaos, sickness, and tension, and you can leave it better than you found it. So simply by the grace of your presence, you really can change the atmosphere of a space you enter. So this was the end of my 3-day series, kind of like keeping your own sovereignty over yourself, just again, maintaining your peace in this chaotic world. I mean, this little 2-week, little institutional confinement I experienced is just a microcosm of the whole world. We're all using this shared space, and we all have our own little home to retreat into for our peace. But we're out there. We're hobnobbing with other people, rubbing shoulders, and this is a good way to sharpen those skills of how to interact with difficult strangers. So, if I can survive 2 weeks in a packed clinical trial, experiencing the physical toll of a study drug, sharing a room with 4 completely different strangers, and walking through hallways of noise, but still emerge with a smile intact, I have graduated from this school of character. I feel like I've even grown. It is, when I reflect on it, I'm like, thank you, Lord, just for this opportunity to flex those muscles. Anyway, I'm not a victim of my circumstances, and I can be a master of my own headspace. That's what I have found. So, let us see. Oh, I still have maybe a minute left. This, if you go to nasa.gov and you click on their articles, you can do a little search up top. And I searched for social confinement. There was this article called Human Factors and Behavioral Performance. So it talks about isolation and confinement in space and how NASA scientists help astronauts cope with spaceflight-induced feelings of isolation and confinement. Could you imagine? I got to walk around a facility. These NASA astronauts didn't. Also, there's a book called The Anatomy of Peace. It's by the Arbinger Institute. Look that up. See if you can find that book. Get it sent to you in your library. I gotta go. But if anything I talked about today sparked a thought, leave a comment or a like, thumbs up or subscribe, whatever it is. Every single day is a chance to learn and grow and become more of the wonderful person you are. The world is better with your light in it. And I thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'll be here tomorrow. But until then, have a beautiful day. Just remember, You're the Lord's precious ones. Bye!